Hey, welcome to Mama Mosey Tarot. I wasn't done shuffling yet, and the cards just started. So, bottom of the deck energy, we have the Seven of Potions. This is the Alleyway Tarot that I had just used to do a read with, and I had planned to do a read with all three of these decks individually, but that didn't work. So, you are going to watch part of my process. I haven't shuffled these other decks for the second reading, so I'm just going to do that until it feels right to stop or until something flies out. And I saw something. I saw the letter, and there's a card behind it. I haven't seen it. So the letter is a card of communication. It can represent an actual physical letter, but it can often also represent a reaching out. So, okay. Now, you're going to have to watch a perspective on this one because this one fell out, so we're going to take this one for bottom of the deck energy, but keeping in mind it did fall sideways, and the way that I usually read sideways cards is could be up, could be down, we don't quite know yet, but it's up to you to make that choice, to be aware of how you're going to tilt that seesaw, you know what I mean, what weight you're going to put on the end of it. But I saw strength on the other side, so you're strong enough to make this decision. You just have to be strong enough to be concrete in that decision, to consider all the factors when you get this communication and whatever it is concerning, to think with a clear head and consider all options. Hold on, please. Mama Mosey Tarot, no captions, no hashtags, no trending sounds. If you're seeing me, I urge you to use your discernment and figure out if it's for a reason or not. If you like my vibe, but this message doesn't feel like it's for you, subscribe, follow, like, whatever the platform calls for. I might have other messages for you. I try to get up to a day, but past couple days it's been a little rough. Things have been a little busy around the house, so I try to get up to a day if I can. If not, there's probably a reason. So, this communication, first of all, make sure it's for you. I want to know what this communication is concerning. So, the Two of Obelisks came out. And the Two of Obelisks is a card of using something as mile markers, as progress markers in what you're doing. So, it can be taken as a sign of progress, but with this perspective card here, there's a chance that it could be taken poorly as well. So we did get the Three of Crayons. It's literally up to you to discern what meaning you want to take from this. This really does kind of feel like a test, especially with the Two of Obelisks. This really feels like are you really in a healthy mind space? And then, are you really in a healthy mind space? You've defeated a lot of enemies. There are people laying at your feet, power in your hands that you have taken, that you have earned, you're in charge, bitch, okay? It is literally up to you to create the reality that you want. So whatever you take from this communication is what you want to take from this communication. But what is it about? Okay. Oh, so we had Virgo come out. Virgo could be the author. You could be Virgo. But I asked what this was about, so I tend to think that this is more about a Virgo. And I was also asking what it was about when I mentioned that Three of Crayons and the Queen of Swords. I didn't notice though, so we're just going to lean into it. Virgo. But Virgo, this card specifically is about how Virgos, 313 on the timer, can lean into something so much that they lose that sense of care for themselves. They lean into something so much that they lose their identity a little bit. And there are a few of the astrology signs in this deck that means, that can tie into in a way. So, that I went off on that tangent, that feels like there have been opportunities here for you to take things one way or another, but you have leaned into a certain way so much. So, that could be what it's about. Certain communication concerning your actions, how you view things, how you don't view things. Especially with that Virgo, how you're just kind of like, it is what the fuck it is. Because it is what it's always been. Stubborn. So, what are you meant to do with this? Why are you receiving this test in perspective? And why are you seeing me? Oh. This really feels like using the past as a weapon. To keep people away. So a weapon as much in defense as in offense. And I just like to push them away. If they stumble and trip and fall in the process, who cares? Things change. So there has been a change here with this death. This is a natural change, the ending of a cycle that should have come to an end, did come to an end in its proper time, relatively, you know. But with the fact that came out, And what you're supposed to do with this is an indication that it's a key, it's a time for you to change and stop using the past to hurt yourself and others. It's time for a literal change in your perspective. We got the crows again. People, and I don't want to say people have been noticing this problem. I think you have also been noticing this problem because this problem is in your bathroom. You know what I mean? Not literally. Could be. For some of you. But this is finally noticing something that seems quite at home where it is, that doesn't necessarily belong there, right? And then we got the Five of Media. So, the Five of Media is another card of creation. And tapes might be significant, and the rewinding of them. But I'm actually going to look at this because this feels more like, I don't want to say erase the evidence that you have. Keep evidence, for sure. Especially because that Virgo card came out. Keep the evidence, but don't let it continuously affect you. Don't let it replay in your head over and over and over and over and over again. If you need to reference it to bring up a point to tell somebody I've seen this behavior before so you can understand my reaction. But hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, so it's not necessarily focusing on the bad portions that you've seen from it. I haven't gotten a card here about reminiscing, so this doesn't feel like reminiscing. This feels more like getting lost in the good memories, right? And that's actually something I was talking about in a previous read too. Getting lost in the good memories, but not lost so much, again, that you lose yourself. But this might be a little more difficult for you to find enjoyment in it, because the Three of Crayons, the other read, I was talking about the Three of Crayons, and that feels like a little more, because it's 3 versus 5, a little bit of a younger energy, right? But this 5, the 5 is usually a number of conflict in numerology, but conflict or a challenge. So I want to say that with this Five of Media, it might be a challenge for you to get lost in the joy and the happiness of it. 707 on the timer. If you need to take a break and binge, maybe re-binge a show that you have refused to watch because of this whole thing, this whole scenario. Re-binge that show and get a new perspective on it, get a new twist on it, and gain a different attachment to it. I don't want to say a stronger attachment or a new attachment. Just gain a different perspective on that. But immerse yourself in that media, immerse yourself in that feeling, the joy in the reminiscing. Seven of, like I fucking said, Virgo. Ugh. So maybe don't keep the evidence, because Virgo came out in reverse. And it landed on top of the Five of Media and the crows. Virgo came out in reverse, so unlike what I was saying, don't keep the evidence, because that was a different reading. You are not supposed to keep this evidence. Then we had the Seven of Potions come out in reverse, so again, with this Five of Media, don't get lost in it. You have a happiness that's not necessarily touching or involved with this. You have a happiness that's waiting beyond all of this, okay? So don't get lost and stuck in this self-care mode. You're doing this for a reason, okay? 811 on the timer. And we got Gemini in the bottom of the deck. So again, don't get lost in it, and don't try not to get lost in another person. Don't form a connection, because you get back into the show and you want to form and get a new perspective and start talking with somebody, and then you dive into it because they have a connection with the show, and that keeps that connection with that other person that you had the connection with. Don't go down that path. It is a long and winding path, and it will bring you right back to where you are currently. I'm going to go through one more time and see if there's anything else you need to know. Okay, so there's going to be time for you to act on instinct, especially with concerning your happiness and how it relates to your self-care. And we had the Five of Wands come out too. So, in the world, there's going to be instances, I think, in this self-care and this getting lost in, not lost, but getting into this media again, reminiscing, getting into these memories and searching for your happiness at the same time. So this came out sideways like this across all of the cards, and then this came out and flew to the side. So I want to take that to mean that there's going to be times to use your instincts, and there's going to be time to put a pause on those instincts. You're really going to need to question them and where they are coming from. With this Five of Wands, there's going to be, and you see all those lizards are all going for the food. There's enough for one of each of them, but they're all panicking and fucking blah, blah, blah. Make sure that you are not panicking, that your instinct is not panicking. Okay, that your instinct did not come up from a place of panic, a place of fear, a place of anger necessarily. Well, I mean, anger can be 939 on the timer. Anger can be a thing, but we got the World and the Three of Swords here, and the Eight of Swords. There's lessons here that you have not learned, and now is the time to take action. You're still letting, and I don't want to say this is heartbreak, because this doesn't necessarily feel like a romantic separation. This does feel like a friend separation. a little bit too. Friend, family, romantic partner. There is a separation here, and this separation is still hurting you because you have not processed these emotions. You still have the angry and upset and painful ties with the memories that you have with this person. So dig into it, get into it, care for yourself, find the happiness in the memories so that you can continue to carry that happiness with you. Okay, take breaks for self-care. Get lost and binge a series if you feel the need. Okay, but get to work. I hope this helped. Love you.